Apply heading 230, runway 27 left. Clear for takeoff.
Flight 807, you're clear for landing, runway 7 Bravo.
What is going on, miners? Well, we have journeyed out to the middle of nowhere in Arkansas, and we are going to be visiting an affiliate site of the team at Musk Miners. But the cool thing is, this place is a liquid immersion mining farm. What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, we are not at home in my home crypto mining basement, are we? Where are we, Blake? Guys, this is Blake, by the way, from Musk Miners.
Absolutely. We are in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Okay.
At a 252 unit, approximately 1 megawatt immersion facility. Normally you guys would think 300 machines per megawatt.
Yeah.
These guys overclock. They overclock like crazy. So they get
cool.
252, and that qualifies as a megawatt, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to step in here, see it. We're gonna get to see their expansion that's going on inside. I think it's gonna be really exciting.
Awesome. So for those of my channel that aren't familiar, kind of what is Musk Miners and what is this affiliate site and how does it work?
Absolutely. So we're miners and we're hosts throughout the United States. We have a couple different facilities. So those are full up, right? So we've now been approached by different individuals, different affiliate sites that ask, hey, you know, we have an operation. Can you come check it out? And maybe we want to get into the hosting business. So can you help us sell these miners? And that's exactly what we're gonna do here, right? So these guys want to sell the units, and as soon as you buy them, they will be automatically turned to your account because they're running inside right now. They're currently mining, right?
I can't wait to look at them. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Cool, guys. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and talk to Ben, who is one of the farm operators, and take a look at our first immersion cooling facility. All right, guys, so we are here with Ben, one of the operators here for Immersion BTC. How's it going, Ben?
Good, how are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome. So you guys, Immersion BTC, when did you guys get started here?
We've been mining for about 4 months now. We started the build out. We're a self-mined facility. Yeah. 4 megawatts. We're currently running 1 megawatt. Okay. 252 S19J Pros.
That's awesome.
Overclocked. They're 100 terahash units. We're overclocking them to about 125 within the standard power supply.
Yeah, that's impressive. 125 there. Yeah. Awesome. Sounds good. So, your facility here. Why in this area? Why did this really pull you guys in?
Well, obviously, number one reason is we found the power.
The power's first, right?
Yeah, so that, and Arkansas has recently become real miner friendly. Okay. Our utility company passed a tariff just for us that lowered our costs, sub 1 penny kilowatt hour. Okay. But when you add the riders and stuff, it's a little bit more. But yeah, so we found that. We're homegrown. We're about 25 miles down the road, so.
Awesome. Well, as you guys can hear, construction is going on in the background. They are building out their facility right now, which gives us a great opportunity to check it out. So let's head inside and take a look at their immersion cooling. All right, Ben, so what exactly are we looking at here? What do you guys got going on?
So this is our 1 megawatt container. We're running, like I said, 252 units. It's a self-built container.
That's awesome. Good for you guys.
We've worked on it, like I said, for about 6 months, just perfecting what we could perfect, basically.
So there's
still R&D in it.
There's no map or instructions for this. It's very much fully customized.
Yeah, so we went from imagining it, me and another guy built it by hand.
That's impressive.
So now we have engineers that have actually come in to build it out on their CADs and stuff like that.
Awesome,
so
sounds
fab
good.
shop and stuff
So this
like
is
that.
one of your containers here.
Correct.
So let's go ahead and step inside and you kind of explain what we got going on.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, so what do we got here? I mean, all I see is a bunch of my favorite Bitcoin miners having a bath right now.
Right, yeah. So this is, again, we have 14 tanks in here. They hold 18 miners per tank of the S19. Our second iteration that we're working on right now will hold 21 M50s. Wow. Is what we're going to put in next. So each one of them are individualized. So if something was to go wrong with one tank, we don't have to shut the whole system down. We can just shut that one tank down, swap out any equipment.
Yeah, you're cutting down on your downtime then, so you're not affecting everything.
So that's the great thing about immersion, right? Like uptime is very high. low maintenance.
Yeah.
And so
I'll take that, 100%.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and also don't have to have a lot of staff working it too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so we're in the Bitcoin industry, we're always looking to cut costs, right?
Yep.
So you always got to balance it out.
So do we have more units up here too?
Yeah, so up here,
Wow.
each, like I said, this frame is 14 tanks, 18 per tank. So
Okay.
2 rows, 2 levels here.
So at a high level with immersion, you're pretty much pumping in cool oil and you're pumping out the hot oil.
Right, so on this one, we're a dual loop system,
Okay.
so we don't pump out the hot oil.
Okay.
The hot oil stays just recirculated in through the tank.
Got it.
Through our plate heat exchangers, we pump in cold water
Got it.
through the system,
Yep.
back out to the cooling tower that
Got
we
it.
have outside.
Okay.
And it just cools it through the HVAC system outside.
That's incredible. That sounds good. Well, why don't we go outside? We'll look at your power and also your cooling infrastructure.
Okay.
All right, so we're outside here, guys. We're going to take a look at their power infrastructure. So tell me exactly what we're looking at and how much of it is.
Yeah, so these are a pair of 2,500 kVA, so
Okay.
5,000 kVA apiece, 5 megawatts, 415, 240 voltage,
Okay.
Maddox transformers, substation transformers. Each one will power, so this one will power about 2.5 containers.
Okay.
This one will power 2.5 containers.
Okay,
so,
great.
we might have some smaller ones in there
Yep.
over time.
Yep.
And then we have another substation just powers the building. So 2 different primaries.
Totally separate. Yep.
Right, yep. Because our load cost is much cheaper on our crypto side versus our
building infrastructure.
Building infrastructure side.
Got it.
So that's why we had to have that. So we also had to put in these overheads that you see here.
Okay, coming into the facility.
in,
Yeah,
yeah.
it looks much more robust than you would a traditional of those.
Correct, yes. We've added reclosers to protect the circuit station
Yep.
next to us and
Yeah. Okay,
stuff like that. Yeah.
very cool. Let's go ahead and take a look at your cooling tower.
Okay.
All right, guys, so we are in front of their cooling tower, and I'm not exactly sure how that all works, so why don't you tell us?
Yeah, so this is a 1,800 ton BAC cooling tower. So it should handle about 8 megawatts
Okay.
on our system. So we have plenty of cooling there. So essentially water pumps out the bottom of that tower through that large red pump right there into the system through the container, extrapolates the heat from the plate heat exchangers, back out through your orange pipe there to the top of the tower, rains down the side, and that fan draws the heat out of it and just recirculates it through. That's how we get that.
So what made you guys pick this versus like traditional air cooling that you see in most of your traditional farms? Why immersion versus that?
First off, where we were at here,
Okay.
we have a college pretty close by in
Okay.
that little neighborhood right there.
Okay,
So air cooling was not going to be very convenient for them.
for the sound level.
Yeah, and they didn't
Okay.
want us in here without
Okay.
that. So,
Got it, okay.
but when we told them what we were going to do with immersion, because we already had the forethought that that's what we were
Yeah,
going to do,
yeah.
they were like, oh, come right on in. That's no problem, because there's no ordinances that needed
Yeah.
to be passed or anything like that.
So
for
you
sound
guys
issues.
were, I guess the thankful thing is you guys were already planning immersion,
We
but it
were.
was almost a forced hand in order to deal with local politics and things like that.
That's right, yeah. And I think a lot of people are running into that. And
Yeah.
I think that's why immersion will be the future. And also, the price of ASICs at the time were so high
Mm-hmm.
that we could buy new but older gen
Yeah,
models
and overclock.
and overclock them up to make them more efficient and to make them more valuable for ourselves or a
Yeah.
customer or anybody like
So
that.
for mining farms looking at going this direction, I assume your immersion has a significantly higher capital spend to get started with than you would with traditional air cooling?
Yes,
Okay.
of course. It's, but the thing is, the largest cost minus your electrical
Yeah.
side is always the miners, right?
Yep, 100%. Yep.
So basically, for every 3 miners that I put in, I get 1 free. So when ASICs were
especially because you're overclocking
right,
too.
exactly. So
Yep.
back when ASICs were, $6,000-7,000 a piece,
Yeah.
then it made better sense to go with the immersion. Of course, that's when we started the build out.
Yep.
So I think the other thing is that it will last longer in the immersion for the fluid and
So your hash boards have longer longevity.
right, yeah, because
with
it's
that.
just more of a stable temperature environment, right?
Yep.
So with ambient air changes outside with fans going down or you know, a lot of environmental stuff with air-cooled facilities can affect the boards, control boards pretty significantly. So Immersion provides that nice controlled environment to keep our little Bitcoin mining computers happy.
That's awesome. Let's jump back inside real quick. We'll take a little bit deeper dive and then we'll head out of here.
All right.
All right, so let's take a look at it here. So Ben, tell me, what are we looking at here? I mean, I see a bathtub with ASICs in it, but let's go through some of the components of this for us. So start from start to finish. What do we got at a high level here?
Okay, so we'll start back with the power. So that's the most important in this facility. So we use 20 amp PDUs right now since we're not putting like alpha miners, PSUs on it. So we can run a good mild overclock on everything still without having to swap out power supply.
Yeah, so it looks like you have like what, like C19 or C20 plugs?
C19s,
And then your power cables go into like a splitter for your
That's right.
your C13s there.
That's right, yes sir. So like I said, they'll hold 18 per miner. So and we have some auxiliary ports for our network switches, our pump inside the container that regulates the flow of oil inside.
And now I see your PDUs actually have self cutoffs, like turn off and turn on.
Yeah, so
for each one?
Each individual outlet holds its own 20 amp breaker.
Wow.
So those are 125 amp PDUs.
Woo, that's like my entire house right there.
Yeah, so we're running per tank about 7,200 watts.
Okay. I'm not hitting that.
In there, per tank.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so...
And then you have Ethernet here coming down and running directly into the miner as well.
Yeah, so we have fiber here at our facility.
Okay.
Uptime is very reliable there.
Yeah.
So just comes in just to a regular switch here and just goes out to the back. Now our second iteration will have patch panels on the back side.
Okay.
It'll clean up these cords, different holes for cords.
So you'll go from the miner to the patch panel
to the
and then go
patch
from
panel
there.
and back up. That's right.
Got it. And then have a network rack somewhere with everything inside of it there.
Yep.
So then what about on the right hand side here? Are these pumps? What are these exactly?
Yeah, so this is our pump that recirculates the oil.
Okay.
It pretty much siphons off our hot oil.
At the top.
At the top.
Okay.
Recirculates it through our plate heat exchangers. Water runs through our waterways here, through the plate heat exchangers, cooling the oil. Okay. Pumps it back through to the bottom through our flow plates on the bottom.
All right, so Ben, what are we doing here? It's also about this cool looking gun.
So this is a thermal gun. Shows us our infrared heat here in the tank. So the best way we can start at the bottom, and we can see that our temperature is about 17 Celsius where our oil enters our miners.
At the bottom of the tank.
At the bottom.
Yep.
And then as we go up, as we calibrate here,
we'll
exit back out to our oil. We're running around 40 C on that top end side.
Wow.
So,
and you guys use that gun a lot to go ahead and keep an eye on your tanks to figure out hot points and stuff like that?
Right, yeah, and it's just good to make sure that we're getting good flow, nothing's clogged the system. Thermal paste we've seen, especially when you dip new miners in there, a lot of that excess thermal paste will fall off, so you got to filter out your oil sometimes.
Is oil level something you guys constantly monitor? Or is there not really that much oil loss with like evaporation or anything like that?
There is no evap on this oil. I want to say, talking to the manufacturers, we'd have to be like 350 degrees before we got to the evap point. I mean, for the evaporation point. So, so pretty much it's just set it and forget it on these things, man.
That's awesome. What is that with mining? Set it and forget it. I don't understand what that is.
Yeah, so that's, again, the beauty of going with immersion. Of course, your CapEx is a little bit more, but on the back end, you make better profits and less overhead.
So something like this would not be as appealing to your traditional home miner because of your upfront expense, I would think. But I think going and having your rigs hosted in this type of scenario is where the attractiveness is.
Yes, because like we were talking about, we can take a little bit more of inefficient rigs, make them a little bit more profitable for you, and save you some money on that front end of buying the newer, latest generation rigs.
Yeah, it makes me think like I have my S19J Pro at home, and it's like, cool, like I could take that, have you guys hosting, or if I don't own one, you guys have these readily available for purchase.
Correct.
And have it hosted and take that from 100 to 125, which is awesome, and that sounds good. So talking about dipping in new miners and stuff like that, there's always a speculation that with immersion, it actually is more harmful to the boards, or that it deteriorates like with the heat sink and stuff. Have you found that the case, or what's been your experience?
So I haven't had any problems yet. We've
Okay.
only been running these in this particular configuration for about 4 months now.
Okay.
We had a smaller configuration, same oil, same temperatures for running for over a year.
Okay.
Those 6 units, and I've never had any problems out of it. That's not to say that there won't be any, but
Yeah.
I think that kind of goes along with anything in this industry. You're always going to get some failures based on your units or your cooling capacity, stuff like that, you know. So.
Awesome. Alrighty guys, so I am here with Carl from Musk Miners. How's it going, Carl?
Doing well yourself?
Awesome. So Carl is a electrical connoisseur. This is his world. He geeks out on this stuff. So we have a substation right next to our mining farm here. So tell us what we're looking at, because to me it just looks like a ton of wires and power and scary stuff.
Well, you're not wrong. It's all of those things.
Okay.
Right. So when power comes across the grid, it's
Yep.
run at a much higher voltage than what you can actually use.
Okay.
So we're going to use substations like this to kind of consolidate these points and then bring the voltage down to an easier
Like downscales
voltage
it.
to use,
Okay.
right? So voltage in your house is going to be like a 120 or
Yep.
240 volts.
Yep.
Voltage out on these lines, I think, is 12,700.
Wow.
That's what's coming into the facility that we're at right now. So.
Okay. Very cool. So why do we see a lot of substations so close to mining farms? Like how does that relate? Like, because we see this a lot of times.
Well, there's a couple of different things that you want when you're considering a location for your mining farm. The first thing you're going to need is the actual availability of power on the line.
Okay.
That's something that goes overlooked when you start talking about mining farms at scale.
Oh, okay.
You don't just have unlimited power at every spot.
You need, geolocation is key and
Right.
load. Okay.
So for example, 1 megawatt of power is usually what you can use to power anywhere 500 to 700 homes over the course of a year.
Got it.
So whenever you get out into a small rural area like where we're at now, you know, do they have the infrastructure to support multiple megawatts of loads when they don't even have that many houses out here for that demand? So you want to have an electrical grid that has the power available to service your mining location above and beyond its current load.
Awesome, sounds good. So yeah, that's why I think it's very common. Like I'm seeing more and more of farms, if it's flare gas or other things like that, where they're partnering with a substation in order to take advantage of that property. And is that really just because the fact that exactly what you said, then you can have the load available to you for that farm?
Yeah, in a lot of facilities, what we're seeing is there used to be a heavy demand on the line.
Yep.
So the existing infrastructure is already there.
It's robust, yeah.
But the power demand isn't there anymore.
That's like this area here. There's tons of abandoned buildings that are all industrial-based buildings that there's barely anything out here,
Right. There was a lot of industry out here at one point, and so they're very happy to see industry and the demand come back into these areas.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's face it, miners are very happy to have available power.
Yeah, very cool. Carl, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No
All right, guys, I am here with Eric, one of the partners for Immersion BTC. How's it going, Eric?
Good. How are you today?
Doing good. So for you, you know, cryptocurrency technology is not your forte.
Oh, no.
Why did you step into it?
Ooh,
Why take that? One, it's a massive upfront investment, and a lot of people view it as a risk. So why get into your own mining farm?
Wow. I think it goes back to probably the individuals that are involved in it.
Okay.
We actually went to a conference about a year ago now.
Okay.
And I say learned a lot, networked a lot.
So that was your stepping stone.
That was sort of the stepping stone. I mean, I've got a buddy and now a business partner.
Yep.
That we work real close with and have worked with on a daily basis now for about a year.
Okay.
And that you know came in and really educated me on the
Okay.
topic. Now, of course, I got a ton of education from you.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
And some of your cohorts as well.
Yeah.
So appreciate you going out and doing what
Sure.
you do each and
Yep.
every single day. But you know, just going through that process, and I guess you know my day job.
Yep.
What I you know our daily ventures anyway. It's all risk reward based.
Yeah, 100%.
right?
Risk management.
That's
Yep.
it. So I looked at Bitcoin and I just thought, hey, this thing's been around
Yep.
now for 12,
Yep.
13, 14 years. So it's probably not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Especially when you start hearing legislation coming around it and everything.
Yep.
It's
legitimacy.
Really I mean, there's not a TV channel you don't turn on as far as, you know, that it's not something said about it and it's brought up. So, yes, so the legitimacy part of it and the opportunity part of it.
Yeah,
So
sure, 100%.
I really think, you know, you're never too late to get in on anything. if you're not in it, get in it.
Yeah, and I think you guys started, as you said, about a year ago, you went to a conference on it. I think it was Mining Disrupt, was it?
That's right. Yep.
And, now, skip ahead from there, 4 months ago, you just got these up and running.
Right.
So you talk about coming into a scene late, which isn't really late because we're in a bear market right now,
Right.
but I think it says a lot to your interest in the space of investing, especially capital, in a situation in a bear market when it's not as profitable.
Right.
Did it help you to see that, okay, Bitcoin was 69, 70,000 previously, to add that legitimacy and almost safety as an investor?
That may have played into it a little bit. I guess I'm looking 10 years down the road.
Okay.
15
Yep,
years
more
down the
long term.
road.
Yep.
Yeah, more long term.
Yeah.
So, it's, you don't want to, and it's funny, y'all, all the new terms that I'm hearing and learning each and every single day over the last couple of days, like, FOMO, just the, fear, the fear of missing out.
Yep.
And
we're teaching them something, guys. We're teaching them something.
No doubt. But I don't even think it's that. It's like, hey, this is an opportunity, and what you see behind us, there's a ton of blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh yeah.
That. And we're all about, in the other companies that I'm involved in, giving opportunity.
Got it.
So, this put a lot of people to work.
Oh, 100%.
So you hear so much of the negative stuff, right?
Yep.
And I go, the time, energy, and effort that's went into just this facility alone, the number of meals and food that were put on people's tables, and the opportunities that
fuels an economy that needs it.
That's it. So, I mean, and the people that we've touched all over the U.S. and even, somewhat from around the world now. So just to be a part of that, that was enticing. And to say, hey, that there may be something at the other end of this, who knows?
Yeah.
But again, if you don't take those risks, there's no way you're ever gonna, get, well, at least where I want to be.
That's awesome. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. So guys, what do you think? An immersion farm? It never really came across my mind. As a home miner, it's just something that you don't think about, right? As a home miner, you're just like, all right, cool. I got to deal with the heat and the temps and everything. And I think, and the reason this interests me so much is as I continue to grow, and maybe you guys are in the same boat that I'm in, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to start to host these at one point or another, right? With electricity costs going on, with these weird crypto bans, some states supporting it, some states not, it's like, I may have to have some of my ASICs hosted at some point. And it's something I've considered a lot, especially as I continue to grow my farm. I know you guys do as well. I mean, I don't know a lot of you guys that are downscaling your farms, you know what I mean? You're more upscaling, and a lot of us have been going the route of diversity. And with that, it's like, all right, well, if I can have mine hosted with immersion versus air-cooled, and immersion's gonna give me 25% more hash rate, and the electric cost is right around the same. I think these guys said they were right around that 0.825 with Musk miners, and with the affiliate group here, Immersion BTC. Dude, I feel like it's a no-brainer. So anyways, guys, we are going to have more content from here releasing this week when you guys see this video. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited to bring that to you guys. I want to dive in a little bit more into immersion, understanding it a little bit more. I also want to talk with Ben, the farm operator, on just what does day-to-day look like for him, and what is it like being a farm operator in the crypto mining space. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, stay tuned for another one. Give it one of these, and I'll see you guys next time. Where are my GPU miners at? I'd like to introduce you to HobbyistMiners.store, who can turn down a high quality t-shirt with your favorite NVIDIA graphics cards in a simplistic design. The spring 2023 collection just dropped a few weeks ago with 17 brand new limited edition designs. What makes them limited edition? Well, every 3 months a brand new collection is released, and their previous one is decommissioned forever. It'll never be sold again. Stop on over and check out your favorite GPU mining t-shirts at HobbyistMiners.store today.